Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. So we're still technically in an ad. The timer's out, but I'm in an ad. We'll be there in a second. I'm just checking something on Tabletop Simulator because I'm trying to decide if I'm crazy or not. On on 54 divided by 2, 27. Okay. I'm wondering if I have something wrong here. We'll have to check it out in a second. We'll have to make sure we're all squared away. Anyway, let's just jump right into full screen mode here. Hello. Howdy, howdy. I feel like our little guys are slightly... There we go. Yeah, so we are trying to figure out the next update here. We've got all this stuff together. I'm trying to think for a second to make sure I'm not being silly. 27 is the number of cards I had per deck. I think... So each one of these there's only one copy of, right? I guess there's 2 copies of each of the other ones, which should in theory lead us to being the same number as the player decks. I tried putting the on Twitch, or we're in the board game category instead of game development. I'm kind of curious how that'll go. It's not like we're really playing the game, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, because if I'm remembering correctly, actually, let's just look at the spreadsheet. Let me pull it up. Where is it? This one? Yeah. Why not? Okay. So, Old God cards. We have... Okay, yeah, Maw of the Forgotten probably changed the balance of some things, so it's a little bit weird. But it's okay, we only need one boss. So it's one boss monster. So I guess we can ignore one of these, but yeah, I guess there's 2 of each copies. Let me double check math on this. 12 monsters. Technically, we should probably be looking at it like this. I think the balance being slightly tweaked is fine, but God. I think my allergies might be acting up slightly. Gosh. All right. Did I mess up the card count? 16 total cards. 20 total cards. How did I mess that up? I'm trying to just figure out if we need... Okay, hold on. 8. I'm wondering if we need more monsters then. I swear I did this math before. Let me take a look here. Is it here? No, it's in the other document. No, this is not this document. This one? I have too many documents. Okay, I erased what I needed. Oh no, here. 11 monsters. That doesn't math right. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 boss is 9. Oh, plus 2 would be 11. So we actually need an additional monster. So this should be 5 unique. Which is fine. We can just take we can add a monster to each of these things for balance purposes. Which means this deck needs 1 more monster. What that monster is, I don't know, but maybe just something like a Blight Might or something. That is slightly annoying. I feel like I could have... Well, we could do something that attacks structures, right? Structures or something that attacks... Blight Might does feel like in the right like flavor, right? I almost wonder if we do something slightly different. Like with these monsters. I'm trying to think what makes the most sense, you know what I mean? With a disable strategy. Sharbroot's cool. Blight might make sense. Shade, I guess, yeah, they're trying to... Things that attack lowest do make sense. Yeah, no, I mean, this seems good. I feel like Blight Might feels right. I mean, it's any one of these, I would say, that would go in there, right? Blight Might or Nethermuck or Voidstalker. Because there's nothing that attacks structures right now. Part of me wonders if I should... Well, I guess Shardbrute technically does. But I almost wonder if instead of Shade, because we already kind of have this guy who... What is an attack weakest? Honestly, I'm thinking Voidstalker instead. Just because we have 2 that attack weakest, which might be too punishing. We can always switch stuff around, though. So I'm thinking... maybe these 2. Voidstalker also feels like it belongs. So yeah, Blight might be a duplicate. Yeah, it was silly of me. I guess I forgot that each of these need an additional thing. Which maybe what we do then is we shift some of these curses to monsters, potentially. just because I'd rather have more unique monsters than more unique curses. Curses are good, but they're less interesting than monsters, I feel like. Because they kind of happen and then they go away. Whereas a monster is persistent, so I think they have the ability to be more interesting, you know? So... I feel like Rift Spawner can't be here if this guy is here. These both seem too strong. Anonymous, yo, what's up, man? How you doing? Trying to get all the decks together here, or at least trying to figure it out. I think we're pretty much done with Decay, although I, for some reason, miscalculated, and it looks like balance-wise, I should have an additional monster per deck. So silly there. Which, like, numbers-wise is a little bit weirder, but I think it's fine. But yeah. How's it going with you? I think that all works. All right, been slacking on the card game. It do be like that sometimes, for sure. Don't be too hard on yourself, though. Need the beats mindset. Yeah, I don't I was like, do I have advice for that? But not really. Whale shit. Good morning, Nova. Hello. Honestly, I think I just enjoy working on the game enough that I do it, you know, at least for this. There is part of it where it's like sometimes like just starting it, just trying to work on it is what helps, right? Like you just sit down and start, and then once you start, you kind of get into the flow state and do it. But it do be hard sometimes. Why is Anonymous blue? I'm trying to decide if I would consider that color blue. You know what I mean? Unless if it's... Hold on, wait. Is it different colors? Is he randomized color? Okay, it's randomized. Understood. I was like, that's more like like maybe it's a blue-gray, but I refreshed and now he's green. I don't know. Good morning. Good morning, Tuna. How are you today? And Nova, how are you? What's going on with you? How's life? What's got you down on us? My game keeps wanting to make progress with it, but never gets around to it. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times it's just prioritizing, right? Like sometimes it's like there's like a lot of things I want to do, or things I should do and that kind of stuff, and it's just like, yeah, I don't have time. It's like you do have time, you just didn't prioritize your time for that. You know, doing all right, only all right. You're not splendiferous. Lawnmower started working out of nowhere, so today I can go ham when the sun settles down. Nice. Did you check its oil? Have you ever replaced the oil? You know, work. No, I feel ya. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, so anyway, I realized that each deck needs one more monster. So we can kind of switch stuff around. I messed up my numbers. Technically, we could probably do without it, but I find more monsters is better because monsters are kind of one of the more fun things to fight against. And I think for the most part, monsters should be more abundant than anything else. So a slight increase in monster number probably makes sense. We might not have to do it. I'm kind of unsure, but I think more monsters probably is better. And then we can potentially switch these extra monsters out for other card types if it makes more sense. Because I don't know if we need 4 more curses. Like, I think we could give a curse to each sort of deck, but then after that, it's like, I don't know. I feel like curses are less interesting because you don't have persisting effects, you know? Oil was fine, and I filled it, but I don't know. Oh, you added more? I don't know about replacing it. You've filled it, like you filled it before, or you filled it after we talked about it? Because if you added oil and it started working, that would make sense. Anyway, more or less, we have an additional monster to play with. I think that's fine, because we do have a lot of old ones, too. Filled it before. There's a bunch already. Okay. Then I don't know what to tell you. Might just need to, like, clean the carburetor or something. I don't know. I don't know how that works. It's probably not your spark plugs, because you said it was starting. I think it's just been trying to be sassy because it hasn't been used in a bit. That will happen. Old gas can do that. If, like, you've left it for the winter, a lot of time will take a while to start. I think you can use, like, yeah. Well, I mean, if it's starting now, then it's fine. I was gonna say you can use, like, whatever, the engine starter or whatever the frick it's called. Anyway, I think we're done with Decay. We do need the only thing we need to do is finish up the effect itself for Decay. We need to just tweak that, and then he's done. I swapped out Shade for Void Stalker, and I added Blight Might because, again, we needed one more card. So cool is finally so cool. It's true. Did we ever, I don't remember if we updated Demoralize. I know we talked about it. We did not, I believe. Yeah. It's down. Demoralized. Yeah, this shouldn't... Well, I guess this kind of makes sense that this is here, because Arcane Siphoner is... technically shouldn't be added to the game until whatever, but... if we're trying to push out updates faster, okay, that's fine. Skill cards, when drawn, Chaos Gate. Oh, we're gonna change Chaos Gate, right? Adjacent should probably say something. Oh, right, we wanted to fix that. So maybe we'll work on all that stuff. I really wanted to get a playtest in before we, like 1 or 2 or 3 playtests before I push this update out, because I wanted to get some of the player stuff done too. But I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think I might try to make like 1 day a week be like player or like community playtest day or something, because we really need to. Oh, I'm tired. We really need to get more playtests done. I mean, I think we're doing pretty well. Pretty well with the players. There's definitely some cards that need working though. This is the beta. Push it out, then keep an eye on it and adjust as you move into the next batch. The problem being is that adding a new enemy does mean that it does mean that it's harder to play against, right? Because like it's harder to balance because we have a whole new challenge, right? The game is supposed to be balanced around null, right? And if we're balancing the game around a different god, it feels a little bit weird. I may try to fill out the rest of these decks and then just consider them like decent for playtesting reasons. Like that might be something we do today, is just put the best options in and make sure all the gods have effects, like these 3, you know, at least. Maybe Bogotet, but I think we get this update kind of somewhat squared, and we just push out all the extra copies of cards will just be extra cards. So that the gods won't be perfect, but it'll at least have this so we could play null or so cool, and then these ones can kind of be like, if we're feeling real crazy, but they'll be like ready enough that we can like swap cards out. I think is how we're gonna handle that. I'm trying to think about how I'm gonna do this. The problem is pushing out an update where we add cards is always more difficult than an update where I just change the value of the cards. If that makes sense. Okay, we're adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cards. Plus the cards we're already adding. I think it was like 24 total or something, right? Well, but yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna push it out anyway. It probably makes more sense to just get it done, but it is a lot of work to push out an update. It's like a day's effort, you know what I mean? So it is kind of annoying, but okay, 10. So we're adding 26 new cards total. I guess if I just make let me make sure these numbers are right because I don't want to mess this up again. 10 new cards here. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so 26 total cards. We subtract 1 from here, so it'll go all the way to 27 because we don't count the first one on the chart here. So this is the... Why does that feel wrong? No, that's right, because there's 10 and it goes to slot 11 because it's spreadsheet. The titles count the first one. Okay, that's 16 more cards. Okay. I'm gonna try to make it as easy for me to update as possible, so there'll be like blank cards when I update it. Okay, yep, let's do it. Actually, all these just get pushed into this document because we're on update 1.1.9, I believe. It really should I should just do 1.2, but it makes sense. But at this point, it's just like I've kind of messed up the the update, whatever it's called. For the playtest, I'm really curious how Whale fits into the into this deck as a boss, because it basically is a damage dealer like Reaper. Yeah, that's true. I think this deck's gonna be very difficult to play against, personally. Which, it's okay, honestly. Technically, like, these are all supposed to be around the same difficulty, but I'm okay if they are slightly different, you know what I mean? I have the feeling it's gonna be very hard. Well, we'll see. The player's already, like, better than they should be, so it's all gonna be a balancing act. Sorry, I'm contemplating what I need to do here. Okay. Okay, let's start with the gods. We need to, okay, we did that. This just isn't accurate anymore. This is now accurate. So I wrote it wrong. In the checks playtest, you didn't even have the whale get played, right? No, it got yeah, it never landed because we never had enough cards, and we specifically chose it one time with a divination, I believe, because it didn't do anything. So now it spawns minions if you don't play it, but okay. We need to figure out all the old gods real quick. Just let's figure all of them out right now. I mean, we have the basic ideas for all of them. We just need to finish it off, you know. I was like, oh, Toot's here, and then, no, it's not Toot. Got a nothing, got a Oblivion, got a Chaos. Wait. I accidentally... Did I get rid of Got a Rot by accident? Yeah. He's here in spirit, is true. Push up time. Push up time.
I'm turning my card-based table.
Help. Help. I clicked poorly. Oh, that was a struggle. Come here, kitten. No, come here. Don't run away from me. Yoink. Guess whose birthday it was yesterday? Hey. It was Luna's. Well, her most probable birthday. It's 7 weeks before the day she was found. Okay, after unit phase, all player cards that are disabled lose 1 unit equal to the number of disabled player cards. When a player card is destroyed by the Old God, it is Old God or its cards. A player disables a card of their choice. Hey, you not scratch my carpet? Yeah. Okay, let's see if this all fits on a single card or a single, like, is how much text is this on a card? Crud. Where's the patching one? Hi, baby. Hello, my love. Hi. You're not getting attention by scratching my stuff, Kitten. I mean, you are, because I'm clearly talking to you about it, but... it might be okay. It's probably still gonna be 4. Kitten! No! Keep getting calls when I don't want them. That seems to be your life. You missed the important news. It was Luna's birthday yesterday. What? Yeah, it was. So, well, her most probable birthday, you know what I mean? Because we don't actually know. I didn't get to congratulate her. Yeah, I was too busy to actually post anything. Let's do it. Let's say it's today. It could be. It's basically 7 weeks before Happy birthday, Luna. Tuna says happy birthday. Where is it? What the heck is it? Where's the Luna cam? Hey. Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, it's happy birthday. Happy birthday to Kitten. I think she's happy about that. She also wants to fight. You want to fight, Kitten? Or to be pet? Yeah, so it's 7 weeks before I found her, so it was approximately the 1st of June, and I was like, 1st of June sounds good enough to me. Oh, are you trying to bite? There she is. Anyway. It's her whole birthday week. Let's just call it that. She's spoiled and gets a whole week. Ow! Don't attack me. Please, no. Please, no. Anyway. God, I really don't like it when cards have 4 lines of text. It's probably okay, but I really don't like it. Honestly. We could, so here's maybe a balance thing. Maybe it only disables another card of the player's choice when it kills something with the, with its other effect, right? So after after unit phase, all players that have disabled cards lose units equal to the number of player cards. Like, if this effect destroys a card, the players disable another card, although that might not be any shorter. Yeah, it might be the same. It's about the same, I think. And it's anti-synergy with the DPS cards. I mean, this effect can still kill stuff anyway. How's it anti-synergy? Because this effect's going to kill things anyway. Unless we say it can't kill things, but right now, any card that a thing can't go below 1 unit is stated that way. I mean, we could leave it at 4, but I really am not a huge fan. 4 is like the absolute limit. Like, there's a few that have 4 lines of text, but usually anything more than that, and then I'm like boss cards are allowed it, and some curses. It's fine, but I'm not happy about it, you know? This is partly why I was thinking about removing the death effect, but having the damage effect is enough. Let's leave it like this for now, and we'll see how it goes. It's okay if it's 4 lines of text. I just don't want it to go any longer than that. Let's see, you know, let me see if I can simplify it once. Sometimes AI is decent at simplifying this stuff. Or at least gives me ideas on how to simplify it. After unit phase, all disabled player cards lose units equal to the number of disabled player cards. Whenever an old god or one of its cards is destroyed, a player card, disable player card of your choice. How is that different? More choices. Is that literally longer? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's literally longer. More concise. Oh, it's just saying after unit phase, each disabled player card loses units equal to the number of disabled player cards. Whenever old god or one of its cards destroys a player card, disable a card. Yeah, they're literally longer. Okay. So in this case, we are out of luck. Make it less words. But it isn't the effect wrong because only supposed to spread when a disabled card is killed. Oh. Does that mean, hold on. Did we make the effect wrong for the Hive Vine then? Or is the Hive Vine just supposed to be any unit or any card? Hive Vine's supposed to be any card. The Old God was supposed to be when it was disabled, right? Or Village, you're right. The Infested Remnants, you're right. When player card is destroyed by Old God. Okay, yeah, so this one's supposed to just be any card because that's more effective. Toot. Hello. But the Old God, I think, is supposed to be specifically disabled cards. Mad Trade Show. Enjoy your stream, Natal B. And I love all of you. I love you too, dude. Hi, King. Did you know about... Well, no, it's Luna's B-Day business? He did not. I don't think anyone did. I did not announce it. I probably should have. I was going to, but I just didn't. It's too busy hanging out, you know? Let me take a shot at this. Maybe all disabled cards just lose one unit, so you have more space for the second effect. Yeah. I think the second effect is important because it allows itself to self-synergize even if the cards on the field aren't ones that disable things. Because because that way you could deck build with this god and then put like any other Old God card in with the deck, right? That's kind of the hope, right? So we could just be like, all right, we're gonna do this today, you know, like that would be the hope, you know, is that we could swap the gods out for different decks. Obviously, like, this is like the one that it synergizes with most, but because I think it'd be cool, like, if we at a certain point we get to a point where we're like, okay, well, like, challenge of the week is you have to defeat this set of cards, and then like we'll have like community sort of like weekly challenges and stuff like that, or something like that would be cool, or like monthly challenges or something where it's like, can you defeat this scary deck with your decks, you know? So now the second effect, the damage scaling isn't really needed anymore. Yeah, I agree. After unit phase, disable player cards units equal to... After unit phase, disabled players' cards lose 1 unit. I mean, that's a lot less text, huh? I was thinking that too, but I was trying to keep it, but I think you're right, because it's like it's like double scaling if we do it that way. When a player card is destroyed by the old god, when a disabled player card is destroyed. Why do I always spell destroyed wrong? Destroyed. That'd be cool, like how platformers and puzzles have daily levels. Yeah, exactly. When a player card is destroyed, when a disabled player card is destroyed, I think that's it. Let me read that one more time. After unit phase, disabled player cards lose 1 unit. When a disabled player card is destroyed by the old god or its cards, a player disables a card of their choice. That player disables a card of their choice. That way it's like, if your card is destroyed, you disable a card, probably. A player maybe is more fun, more co-op. Yeah, more co-op good. Co-op good, you know? That's much better. Hello, DDP, DD Legend in the house. Says Tuna. The legendary DDP. What was I gonna say? Besides yawning. Yeah, there's something I was gonna say. Oh, I do need to come up with my schedule for this week. I did not. Do we want to figure that out real quick? I'm thinking, like, I would like to line up a playtest. I've been kind of, like, I'm sure I could just get something to happen on Saturday, but part of me is also thinking of doing Inscription. I also want to do stream improvements, but I just don't know. It's like kind of a weird time, right? This update will probably take today. Maybe we'll have to take all the way to next stream, depending on how much time it takes and how much time I have. So I was thinking the weekdays are probably armies related. Maybe it's like today and tomorrow, or today and Thursday are stream, or either AE / stream stuff, And then Sunday is Inscription. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. I would also like to get more playtests done, but I don't know. I think maybe that's just something we can, like, I was thinking maybe like trying to do that like Saturdays, but Saturday is like my only day off. So it could be Sunday, but I stream Sunday. So it's like, okay, I'd have to do it after stream, which is not horrible actually. But like most of y'all are probably going to be asleep after stream. So it's like, I don't know, man. And then I have to like end stream early. And technically I could have y'all on stream, but then like, I don't know. I feel like not everyone wants to be on stream, and it's kind of nice to just focus on the gameplay instead of worrying about streaming at the same time and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, I don't know. All right, we have other ideas for God of Chaos. I think we originally had like a randomized idea. For the first card drawn that turn, it's one of the following effects. Monster, text. Okay, we kind of changed off of that to curse strategy. So this really isn't... I like the randomness aspect. I'm trying to decide... I like the randomness aspect for the fact that it's God of Chaos. When the first card is drawn each turn, do one of the following effects. Move a last play curse from the discard pile back into the draw pile. I mean, really, it should probably have one of these effects, right? It probably has to be basically move a curse back into the draw pile. And then, honestly, maybe additionally, when it plays a curse, it plays another card. The next curse drawn triggers its effect twice. Search the deck and draw a curse, then reshuffle. Card draw in general is randomness. Yeah, it's true. So I think what it should be is something like this. At the start of each turn, start or end? Start, I guess, is fine. At the start of each turn, draw the last played. This might be worded better, but let's just start with writing out what it is, and then we can work on wording. Played curse. Start each turn, draw the last played curse from the discard pile and place it into the draw pile and reshuffle. If a curse is drawn, then draw one more card. I think something like that. Those two effects. Posture check, you're right, thank you. Dude, my shirt is so wrinkly. I really need to invest in an iron. I think that makes sense. Before I delete all this other information, let me make sure we have these effects in here, because I think Chaos... I don't know if this is a Ruins or not, but... something like, yeah, when a curse is played, double its effect. Isn't it wild that I type B instead of D sometimes because dyslexia? Like, they don't even look the same on the keyboard. My brain is just like, yeah, those are the same. Those are the same letters. What was the other one? Triggers twice. Search the deck from a curse and reshuffle is already, there could be a wasteland that does that, like, additionally, but I don't know. We'll see. And then draw an additional card. That's fine. Move the last card played. The discard pile and play. Nah, okay. At the start of each turn, draw the last plague curse from the discard pile and place it into your draw pile and reshuffle. If a curse is drawn, let's do this. Let's have this effect first. If a curse is played, then play one more card. No, this feels like order of operations. I'm trying to think here. Drawing one more card when a curse is drawn will have crazy synergy with the structure that searches for curses. Yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure. I'm wondering if this feels like two separate effects, or if I might honestly just say additionally. I don't usually say it, but it also feels like two separate effects. Like, I don't know. Do I need to do additionally? At the start of each turn, let me magnify this for y'all, because this is probably not the best viewing experience. There we go. At the start of each turn, the last plague, at the start of each turn, draw the last plague curse from your discard pile. And place it into the draw pile and reshuffle. My worry is that the second part sounds like it's somehow affecting the first part. Like, if you draw a curse, I mean, obviously, it's two separate effects with decay, the damage, and disable. But yeah, I'm just worried that someone might read this and then drawing one. Sorry, I'm worried that someone might think that this is like part of the first effect, right? It's like, if it draws a curse, then if a curse is played, then play one more card. I'm wondering if additionally just makes it sound like this is sort of a separate effect. I just have a feeling someone might get confused that it's like, well, yeah, I'm drawing a curse and putting into my pile, but, you know, I don't know. Or like, they're like, oh, what if, I guess it doesn't need the additionally, not really. It's like one of those things that this makes it slightly more clear, even though it's already, the intention should be clear. I just worried about people, whatever. I don't know. Let's see if additionally puts it over the three line limit, or if I think it's good to separate the two because they act different in circumstances. Yeah. Yeah, I want it to not seem like the same thing is the biggest concern there, but if additionally is it between it being 4 lines and 3 lines, then I will adjust. Okay, it is additionally isn't gonna change it. It's still gonna be 4 lines no matter what. Which is, again, I think we're gonna have to be fine with. If it has 2 effects, it's gonna be 4 lines. Anyway, we're in ads, or we're about to be, so hang out for 3 minutes here, watch this video, and we'll be back for another hour of ad-free viewing. See you in a sec.
I'm turning my card-based tabletop
I haven't seen
role-playing
this one in
game
a while.
into a fully fledged deck builder. That's right, a role-playing game like Dungeons & Dragons, but with the deck-building mechanics of something like Slay the Spire. Not only that, but doing so solves a bunch of problems generally experienced in many tabletop RPGs. Hi, I'm Nathan, and this is my sci-fi role-playing game called Soul. Now you might be saying, Nathaniel, you're just making this game into a deck builder because it's popular right now. And to that, I say, you're right. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't hoping that a popular game genre wouldn't help promote my game. But even though that is true, that's not really the reason I decided to make this change. It's actually because it solves a lot of problems in my game. But before I explain why I did it, let's explain what I actually did. To start, I'm going to use an action system similar to version 2 of my game called Concentration. Each point of concentration essentially counts as 1 action. The exception here is that more powerful cards may cost more than 1 concentration to use. This is going to be similar to Hearthstone's mana system or Slay the Spire's energy system. A player will start the game with 3 concentration and be allowed to spend it on various cards on their turn. After spending it, their concentration will regenerate when it becomes their turn again. As for the cards themselves, there are 3 different types of playable cards. Basic actions. These cards allow you to perform a simple action, mainly one of your equipped items, such as a weapon to attack an enemy. As a note here, there will be an inventory system where you have separate cards equipped, but that's for another video. Physical abilities. Generally, these are things that can be done within human means, or alien means, or whatever. Something like the Knight's Cleave ability, which makes a sweep attack hitting multiple enemies, or the Medic's First Aid ability, which allows them to heal a target even when it's not on their turn. And lastly, nano abilities. I won't kid myself, this is basically a magic system under the guise of technology. This allows a character to perform actions and go beyond what's normally possible, such as Medic being able to use mass healing, which allows them to heal allies in an area. This also helps to explain older abilities like the DJ's Scale ability, which allows you to change the size of other characters' abilities. A player will choose an assortment of these cards from a class or multiple classes to build a deck. Once they have their deck, they can use these abilities in-game, especially during combat. Once combat begins, a player will draw 6 cards and be able to choose what actions to perform by playing these cards and using concentration to do so. Once a card is played, it goes into a discard pile and cannot be played again until their deck is empty. I'm still debating on whether a player's hand refreshes every turn, or if they can retain their cards and draw enough to fill their hand. Playtesting is probably in order to decide which one's best, but let me know what you think. Either way, that's the general premise of the deck building aspect, so let's explain why I actually made this choice. For those of you who play games like Dungeons & Dragons, will likely know this sort of situation. Your party gets into a fight with some enemies, and it gets to your fighter's turn. Your dungeon master asks a fighter what they would like to do, and they say attack one of their enemies with their legendary magic sword. They attack, and then the DM asks what they would like to do with their 3 additional actions. And they simply say they want to attack with their sword again, even though there might be more interesting options that the character might have. This continues until they're out of actions or the enemy is dead. Now, you may blame the fighter for playing the game in an uninteresting or boring way. However, well, they may have other actions at their disposal. Using their legendary sword is likely the most effective option for dealing with enemies. And while it may be true that it isn't the most interesting, you can't really blame them for using their best action they can. We had the exact same issue in Soul, and for that reason we came up with this design philosophy. The mechanics should never encourage a meta or perfect strategy. Players should never be able to repeat an action or a set of actions ad nauseum. And that's where the deck building mechanics come in. At the start of combat, a player will only have 6 cards, likely meaning they won't always be able to perform their best action and have to adapt to what's given to them. Even in the case of attacking with their weapon, they may only have so many basic actions, forcing them to use some sort of other action. Not only is this good for allowing players to have a diversity in actions, but it will also make combat encounters more interesting as a whole. Not only does a player...
What the heck? Bardley has been a mod for 1 year, doing absolutely nothing for 1 year. I mean, you were a mod. You were doing stuff before. You got busy. You have a life. How dare you not be here every second of your life? I appreciate anything you do, Bardley. My barderific friend. Wait, is it going to be clear that it plays one more card refers to the old god card? Yeah, honestly, I literally thought that the second I paused the stream or went to ad break. I'm like, that's not going to be clear. I think I can make it honestly more concise and clear. So the fact that Decay and Chaos have 2 effects gives a good reference point for Oblivion can have 2 similar effects that synergize. I agree, yeah. Timing out Tuna for 1 second to prove I have done something. Yes, I will be witness. Witness me. Tuna probably deserves 1 second timeout for something he's done. For sure. I'm just kidding. That's what I'm saying. At some point, Tuna's done something. If a curse is played... Fuji plays a card. Honestly, this is more concise, and... Does it think it's more concise? And it's clearer. Look at that. Now additionally might actually be a... No. No. I'm sure it's clear that this is to the old god discard and draw a pile. It's not like you're putting the curse in your hand, right? Like, the start of each turn, draw the last played curse from the discard pile and place it into the draw pile and reshuffle. Like, I feel like that's pretty clear. Whoa, Disco Turtle? Yeah, honestly, the Disco Turtle looks better not as the not in the little guy stack, but on its full like technically it's sort of a little guy, but it's kind of not a little guy. It's a little guy, but not in the little guy style. Let's see, streaming. Where is it? Random art. Disco Turt. There it is. That's got all its lighting. Probably a month timeout, but let's not talk about that. Wait, wow. Wow. Wait, on.
Wow.
There we go. Funny every time. Anyway. I'm gonna put volume on max and prepare lunch. Time me out for a couple minutes. Little guy stack, but they do the solitaire animation during the biome break. That would be so funny. They started bouncing around. I wonder if I could make that very easily. Sorry, I was something in my eye. Tuna's been timed out for 600 seconds. Let's go put Tuna in the corner. Okay, we need to look at Oblivion then as well, probably. Meant to do it for I didn't not mean for it to be 10 minutes. Well, it's too late. I think it's default 10 minutes, right? Thank you for the tier 1 subscription. Look at all those emotes.
Bard_lay just subscribed. Wow.
Wow. It's so good. Yeah, freaking TTS has some good mannerisms. Okay, so we need to do Oblivion and we need to do Bogatet. The other two I'm kind of less worried about. Neth is just kind of like he's got a lot of card draw. Though I think he maybe will eventually get an effect. I just don't know what that is yet. So I think we're just going to kind of leave that. But yeah, Bogatet needs something. But Oblivion's more important. Bogatet, I think... I really was considering having it be like... Bogatet has two sort of functions. One is single player, and two is additional difficulty if you're doing something like 3-player. For single player, I was thinking of doing it like he has... like if you're playing on your own, effects that work out with your allies work with yourself instead. Which would make sense. But if he is used for additional difficulty, I kind of don't like that. So maybe we could find something sort of in between. Because like if you're playing with 3 players with this game, which is, again, you know, not necessarily an intentional way of doing it, but I think it is a fun thing to potentially have. I think the, you know, having allies affect yourself kind of is like against the point of it. Because yeah, you'd basically want to have like Null and Bogatet would be like a 3-player difficulty. In theory, maybe like some of these are could be difficult enough for that, but although these really should be balanced around a 2-player experience. So we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. This actually should be the unit icon. Cool. Don't think I need this anymore. What am I doing? What page do I need? This one, sorry. Okay, Null is blank. We don't really need to worry about that. Null is, that's the whole point of Null. We need to look at Oblivion. Not to be confused with Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which is a good game. Kind of surprised I haven't played, what's it called? The remake of Oblivion. Why is the menu so small, even though I'm zoomed in like a bajillion %? Oh, anyway. What the heck? Oh, interesting. There's a zoom within that, and there's a zoom within this. That's new, I think? Anyway. Okay, currently Umbra's effect is that if a minion reaches 3 stacks, is replaced by an Olgog card. I don't think that should be it. I think that's probably dumb, because then it means no minions ever reaching its full potential. So I think it probably should be 5, though the problem with that is that The Olga cards might not be better than 5 minions, you know what I mean? I am almost thinking 2 Olga cards, which is kind of crazy. We also have the, again, as Tuna was mentioning, the potential for this card to have the potential for this god to have 2 effects. Though maybe what we do, because this god kind of has like a secondary synergy of drawing cards from the Tuna, you are free. Yeah, I was feeling a bit quiet. Oh, I guess Tuna's doing lunch stuff. Maybe what we do is we make... Sorry, I got distracted by work. You're good. Maybe what we do is we make Umbra pull cards from their discard pile. Bradley got the most... is the most hardworking mod, true. Also, you ignore my sick animation request. Did I? The solitaire thing? I said it'd be cool if I did that. I don't know exactly how I would do that, but... I could try. I mentioned it. I did say it. Ignore me. I will ignore you ignoring me. 3 cheers for Bod. Huzzah! 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 Not worth it. You have real things to do. I wonder if I could just ask, like, Claude to do it for me. Should we try? On. Claude code. Can you make an isn't HTML make a font? Yeah, let's do HTML. HTML of my little guys in my beats creation folder and make the animation of random little guys like the solitaire win animation. Ask if you have any questions. There we go. There's probably an extension on GitHub, yeah. But Claude will make it in like 4 seconds. Anyway, this is what AI is for, to have stupid freaking dumb things, you know? Anyway, what, oh, right, Oblivion. Let's see. Bu- 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 bu. Yeah, I think drawing from the discard pile makes sense. I think we probably want clear wording. If minion reaches 5 stacks, they are placed into the discard pile, and the minion discard pile, and draw 2 Olga cards, or the draw 2 Olga cards from the discard pile. I might look at the wording on some of my other cards and see how that's worded. Bradley, it's happening. Minions reach 5 stacks. They're placed into the let's go. Oh god. It's looking very AI currently, but we'll see how it works. Very curious. Okay, hold on. Hold. Shmeep. I think this makes sense. It makes sense with the double synergies though, or like it's side synergy, right? If a minion reaches 5 stacks, they are placed into the minion discard pile and draw 2 Olga cards from the Olga discard pile. It also feels like maybe this is weak though, you know? Okay, it is definitely not the right animation, but it is doing things. It's using some of the wrong files, but and I don't know why the scale of them is, well, I guess it's scaled them randomly. Right? Does it randomly, if I refresh, does it, okay, yeah, it puts different random ones in there. GitHub Solitaire. Solitaire win. Classic Solitaire window. Card animation. Recreate as a web page. This seems like too much of a distraction right now, but I will. I'll take a look at it at some point. Install it. Probably could just send it to it and be like, use this as reference. It's not the same, you know? Anyway. One prompt was enough. There could be a redeem that unleashes little guys. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I 100% agree. I also was very tempted to have, like, I kind of do like the idea of doing stream avatars. It's just kind of a lot of work. That's my only thought. And I wouldn't really want to do animations for the little guys, but I think it'd be cool if you redeem a little guy, you could get the little guy as your thing, as your little guy that walks around. You know what I mean? I don't know. We could potentially have this be, if it reaches 5 stacks, it starts drawing, it just draws an Old God card per turn, is probably more powerful and probably, or not Old God, like draws a singular, Old God card from the discard pile per turn. That's probably a more equivalent effect. You know what I mean? Yeah, Scum with Marcy put hundreds of hours on screen avatars chat. They're looking amazing, but yeah, it seems like a lot of work. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Thunder. How are you doing? Welcome on in. No, it's basically would just be a additional Void Hollow. I really need to figure out how to not lose what tab I'm on. The minion, if a minion reaches 5 stacks, then play 1 non-curse card from this discard pile per turn during draw phase. No, shut up. There we go. I think that's it. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Thunder. You could always opt for pre-made ones, though. It just doesn't feel right. I feel like I'd rather have my own personality to it. Otherwise, it's kind of just like whatever to me. I mean, I could just put the little guys in there, right? Like that could just be whatever, but they're not animated, whatever. Crying for the 3rd time today. What's happening, Tuna? Are you okay? Don't be sad. If a minion reaches 5 stacks, then play 1 non-curse card from the Old God discard pile per turn during draw phase. I think that's fair. First time I saw a Q plushie cried. Second time I played Pokemon and did supportive narration for the team cry. Are you okay? Look at them. Now I'm cutting Onions cry again. Fair. I think this is the effect. I think this makes sense. Especially with the cards it has in its deck. If it's drawing, like, if it's drawing back frickin' Chaos Worm, Abyssal Horde, and Abyssal Overseer, those are gonna all be drawing more minions. I think it works. Man, how can I not cry when little pets are doing their best to getting stronger? What you cooking? Pixel pets, yeah, that's fair. All right, this is the effect for Umbra for now. I really did like the banishing minions to come back as something more powerful, but it just kind of doesn't really work. Because removing something to gain more power feels just kind of not great. So I think this works for Umbra. It's not 2 effects, but it does self-synergize, so just baking some taters and onions and cooked sausages. Sausage, taters, and onions. That sounds delicious. Do we want to work on Bogatet, God of Rot, or do we want to can you stop scratching my carpet? I would love it if you stopped scratching my carpet. Yeah, it'd be great. Sounds like a good breakfast. Just baking some taters and... Oh, I already read that. I heard that Tebow guy is joining soon. That Tebow guy. I think Bogatet and Neth should come out last as a package deal. Yeah, probably. Tebow has joined the chat. Okay, there's a few other little tweaks we need to do. So these are good. The intermediate 3, as they call them. We did need to fix those few cards that we were like, that needs to be fixed. You know? Not fixed, but we said we could scale them, right? The Demoralize, Chaos Gate. Adjacent should probably say Zone. We also need to I think we needed one of the only player card thing I think we need to look at is Turtle, because Turtle's the disable has to be part of the effect and not the and not the other way around, not part of the cost, if that makes sense. I guess we did a few fixes. Name every deck in TTS, that's easy. Beach should disable. Disable should be part of the whatever. Visions of Death should not say Old God. Or should I say not the Old God specifically, so you can't use Visions of Death to win the game. Dinner for me, but yes, yeah. Honestly, sounds like a good dinner too. Hope we're not, I hope not. We were just bad-mouthing him. Could never, though. True. Fairy said he was joining soon. Speaking of food, I'm hungry. Why am I hungry? You fixed Visions of Death already. Did I? I don't think I don't know if I did. I know we talked about it. Is my memory getting worse? I feel like my memory is usually really good, and I feel like it's just been bad lately. No, it's not. We talked about it, but we didn't actually implement it. I'll double check that I didn't. No, yeah, we didn't touch it. It's his eye that has bad memory. We talked about it for a good while, but we didn't actually do anything with it. Needs food for creative fuel. True. Honestly, it's crazy how many like calories you're supposed to burn by just like thinking hard. Like the whole like chess players like or grandmasters burn like so many calories of like chess grandmasters burn like some absurd amount of calories just by thinking. I don't know how much of that's a misnomer, but it's interesting. But yeah, so we got a bunch of little things to do. If we think of a fact for Bogotat, I'd throw it in there for now, but I don't think we necessarily need to. We need to put all the beta cards into the hatching version. Take them out of beta. Okay, let's write our list of things we need to do here. Do I need to open that document I closed a minute ago? Probably. Right, this is just not the right spot for this. Okay, we need to, what do we need to do yet? We need to put cards from beta into 1.1.9. We need to card updates for players. For OGs. Do you know that human brain is an energy hog? Despite weighing about 2% of your body weight, it consumes about roughly 20% of your daily energy and calories just to keep you alive, alert, managing basic bodily functions. Interesting. Now we know. And then, of course, I guess to go along with this, update TTS. Didn't Minecraft get a massive combat rework in 1.1.9? How fitting. Probably. I don't remember the Minecraft updates anymore. Haven't been up to date on Minecraft in a while. I feel like I wouldn't even recognize the game. It's not really true, but yeah, Beast Tamer. I think Beast Tamer and Musketeer we fixed the wording on already, but we do need to touch these ones. Let's actually look at the Old God first, though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Demoralize scales off card draw. Maybe Abyssal Domain as well. Let's just ignore that. Let's just do Demoralize. Demoralize does what exactly? Demoralize. Each player removes 5 cards from any number of cards in play they control. Cannot drop below 1. I'm still okay with that. But the number of units should scale off of something. Demoralize. I think it was 1.0.9, whatever. I don't remember either anymore. I feel like an old man. Same. So we said it scales off card draw and something else, but I forgot. I think that was the main idea, is that it scales off card draw, right? Each player moves... I'm trying to think what, like, a good number would be. Like, half the number of Wait, off of card draw? I'm trying to decide what that means. Or number of old god cards. Number, like half the number of the cards in the old god's discard pile would be probably decent. Like, players remove 1 unit for every 2 god cards in their discard pile. From any number of cards in play they control. Each player removes 1 unit for every 2 old god cards in their discard pile from any number of cards in play they control. Cannot drop a card below 1 unit. Yeah, discard pile, card draw, and number of cards. I think discard pile still makes sense because it scales off of the old god being weaker. So like the weaker the old god is, the stronger it should become in a way, right? Like it keeps it more at an even keel. So this is kind of better. This might be too many words. Let's find out. It's demoralize. No, that's gonna be fine. That's still 4 lines. Each player removes 1 unit for every 2 old god cards in their discard pile. I really don't like it when it's 4. Especially for like just a normal old card. Like for the gods, it's like I feel like I can make an exception, or like bosses, but like they control is like excessive. Let's see if that gets me where I want. Probably not. But there's a chance. Too many tabs open. Dang it. We're so close. Can I just say players instead of each player? Is that fair? Can I just do players? Remove 1 unit for each. I think that's fine. Each player is like that sort of slightly more clear that isn't actually more clear. Heck? There we go. It's not reverted back. There we go. Perfect. 3 lines. I'm happy now. does that make sense actually? Or should it be every card? Right? Because, like, every card is too much, honestly, but I don't know if it is. Because if this is drawn turn 1, it does nothing. If it's drawn turn 2, players lose 1 card. This is assuming you kill everything, right? Players lose 1 unit off of 1 card. Turn 3, you lose 3 units, which is still worse than was before. Turn 4, you lose 4.5 units, which is still worse than it was. Turn 5, it's 15, 3, 6, 9, 12, yeah, 15, so half of that is, why can't I do that math? Half of 14 is 7, so 7, so yeah, 7 units, which is still not much better than it was. So, and that's the end of the game. When you put it that way, yeah. And losing 15 units late game is, like, really bad, but it's also, like, not the worst thing ever. Like, when you have, like, you'll have an abundance of units at that point. Usually. You should. Okay, it's every card. Otherwise, it's honestly just worse. Probably. There's a chance it does nothing, though, so I'm almost wondering if scaling is bad for it, and just consistency is better, but it's kind of hard to say. Players remove 1 unit for every oh god card in their discard pile. Back each player, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I gain that much back, but it might be enough to... Each player removes 1 unit from every Old God card in... It should probably say in the Old God discard pile, but if we're trying to save space... Well, let's try it with the Old God discard pile. From any number of cards in play, they cannot drop 1 unit. If it... I will remove the if it's too long. Perfect. Each player removes 1 unit for every Old God card in the Old God discard pile from any number of cards in play. Cannot drop below 1. We'll try it. We'll see how it goes. Okay. What else? Chaos Gate. Change to something for Chaos deck. Push-up, sit-ups. I guess it's sit-up time? Is this only the second redeem of the day? Did I skip one of them, Tuna? I think I skipped my sit-ups, didn't I? your last redeem? Because I feel like I did push-ups. I don't remember doing sit-ups. Well, you did? I did? Did I do the wrong thing? Did I do push-ups twice? Or am I losing my mind? Because I did push-ups the first time. I redeemed during break, right? And I forgot to do them. I heard you do it. All right, we'll do push-ups and sit-ups. We'll do both. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I was meant to turn on the camera. Y'all don't need to see me in my full glory. I'm just kidding. Also, 30k Bitcoin, meaning next week probably I'm redeeming the Curse Equipper. Unless you feel like there's something more interesting that the boss could do. I'm unsure. I don't think... Let me put it this way. I will not guarantee you that whatever card you redeem is going to be a boss. But, yes. We can make that card, whether it's the boss or not. I'm unsure. Imagine anti-synergy was true now. Not really though. Like it is and it isn't, you know? Like it technically is anti... Oh, yeah, I guess it is, right? Because it can't draw more cards. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's... honestly, mostly I only say that the I will not guarantee that it is a boss is in fairness to everyone else, if that makes sense. If someone else redeems something and I deem it to be boss worthy, then yeah, I think that's fair. But it's treated as a curse, as it makes up for it, right? Probably. I just don't know if that's gonna be too many effects to put on one monster, but we'd really have to figure out the wording. But we can work on it for sure. I do like the idea of it though. It is cool. Sorry, I'm kind of out of breath from doing 2 workouts in a row. All right, what's Chaos Gate gonna be? Because originally it was at the end of the turn, remove 2 units from all structures, cannot drop below 1. It's fine, but meh. We're gonna move it to... You're gonna have a hard time making something this cool as a boss, but yes, I do think Scarecrow or Voodoo magic creature is worthy of a game boss, or not, or I'm not sure, but yes, I do. Is worthy. Sorry, the wording of that was confusing to me. I see what you're saying, yes. But yeah, I think just it's mostly a in fairness thing. Not that, like, you know, many other people are throwing out boss suggestions, but I think being like, I'm not gonna guarantee that is a fair statement, I think. Hopefully you agree. What can we change Chaos Gate to? We have a list of abilities. When a curse is played, double its effect. That's decent. Disable one type of effect. Unit, no, it's not that one. The player cards lose their attack icon. These are like chaos related, but copies next curse and activates every turn. That's kind of more what you were talking about. I think as a rule, you should say you don't guarantee anything with redeems. Yeah, for sure. What do I say in the redeem text? I'm curious. This has been a while. I will make a AAE Wasteland Curse card in your honor based on your suggestion, keeping the idea within the fantasy lore of the game. I reserve the right to veto any idea. I think that's pretty fair, yeah. The card redeems that is not just whether they'll be a boss or not. Yeah. Just in general, you're right. For sure. But I do like the idea. I will make the card. Whether it's a boss, I'm unsure. But that's kind of like something we'll figure out when we actually make the card itself, you know? Chaos Gate could be the one that doubles the curse effect. Do we like that idea? Just make it that, so like when a curse is played, the effect triggers twice. It's kind of like not great on its own, but I think it would have to have a pretty high... It's gonna kind of have to be like Chaos Keep, honestly, where it's like it has a pretty high strength because it's not really that bad. Yes, we did also mention a structure that mimics a curse, like every turn, like Bard. My only worry with that is that tracking on that feels really bad. Unless it's like, again, like you were saying, equipping the card, right? Which ideally Bard is kind of equipping the triggered effect of the thing, but Bard is somewhat like anti-design philosophy for me. I love its ability. I think it's very cool. But like a lot of the time when I play Bard, I take the card and put it next to the Bard, you know, and be like, okay. But if we have stuff that's drawing back lots of cards, then that's not as... I guess, like, in TTS, you can just copy the card, or you could write a sticky note for all that matter, you know what I mean? But, as you said, it could be equipped, but that's anti-synergy again. Could flip the Old God effect so it draws... isn't... if a curse isn't drawn. Ooh. That might be better as a land, honestly. Like a wasteland. It feels more wasteland-esque, right? We don't have a lot of, like, wasteland ideas. if a curse isn't oh, we're gonna add this turn, draw another card. Maybe we'll see. That's a potential idea. We're gonna add. Give me a sec. We'll have take a break for 3 minutes, and then we'll be back for another hour of ad-free viewing. Be right back.
I'm turning my card-based tabletop role-playing game into a fully fledged deck building. That's right, a role-playing game. They simply say they want to attack with their sword again, even though there might be more interesting options that the character might have. This continues until they're out of actions or the enemy is dead. Now, you may blame the fighter for playing the game in an uninteresting or boring way. However, well, they may have other actions at their disposal. Using their legendary sword is likely the most effective option for dealing with enemies. And while it may be true that it isn't the most interesting, you can't really blame them for using their best action they can. We had the exact same issue in Soul, and for that reason we came up with this design philosophy. The mechanics should never encourage a meta or perfect strategy. Players should never be able to repeat an action or a set of actions ad nauseum. And that's where the deck building mechanics come in. At the start of combat, a player will only have 6 cards, likely meaning they won't always be able to perform their best action and have to adapt to what's given to them. Even in the case of attacking with their weapon, they may only have so many basic actions, forcing them to use some sort of other action. Not only is this good for allowing players to have a diversity in actions, but it will also make combat encounters more interesting as a whole. Not only does a player have to overcome their abilities of their enemy, but also adapt to the abilities available to them. Now, this one arguably will have to be tested, but again, you've likely encountered a scenario in other games like D&D where a wizard-type character sits there for 3 minutes digging through their character sheet and trying to find what spell will work in this specific situation. With a limit on the cards, a player will only be able to choose the actions that are in front of them, which should limit their options and allow the game to run a little more smoothly. For our last example, how many times in an RPG have you used an ability on an enemy, or group of enemies, that causes a status effect, like a burn, or poison, or sleep, and have forgotten to apply it each turn, or forgotten which one of your enemies is affected by it? Or how many times has your character yourself been affected by a status effect, and forgotten the next time your turn rolls around? This problem is solved using cards. Look at a game like Slay the Spire. When you're affected by a status, it's shuffled into your deck, and then when you draw that card, it's applied to you. This is exactly how it works in Soul. Say you're lit on fire. A burn card will be added to your deck, and upon drawing it, you'll take that damage. This way, a player will never forget to apply this status effect when it's on their turn. There may be other ways that these changes help the game, but I just haven't discovered them yet, and I'm excited to see what they may be. Anyway, thanks for watching, and whoa. Hold on, Nathaniel, I hear you say. Didn't you say in your design philosophy video you didn't want a game with heavy mechanics? And isn't a deck builder super mechanically heavy? Not only that, but tabletop RPGs are supposed to allow players to do anything they want. This seems a bit restrictive. And if you are in fact saying that, you would be right. Anyway, thanks for watching, and okay, fine, okay, fine. I'll explain myself. All right. Well, I realize a deck builder is mechanically heavy. At some point, a role-playing game has to be an actual game, like the game part. And I feel in this case, it's worth the risk. It just means I'm gonna have to be even more careful when designing my abilities in such a way to promote roleplay and avoid nitty-gritty mechanics-based abilities. For instance, abilities allow you to draw more cards, or even use abilities for free. Well, a few abilities like this could be good. Allowing players to infinitely draw cards, like a Shiv build in Slay the Spire, might end up being a little bit much. And as for a player not being allowed to do what they want, yeah, that's also true. However, I like to think of this system like the options your character can come up with in any given moment. That being said, I do have some mechanics planned that circumvent this issue rather than me just using a narrative explanation. For one, if a player's not in combat, they can use an ability at any time, allowing diversity in roleplay without any consequences. As for in combat, a player can do what I'm calling a focused draw. This spends a concentration to allow a player to dig through their deck and pick out a specific card. This will allow players the freedom to do what they want, coming at a bit of a cost. However, this unfortunately isn't enough on its own. As suppose a player has 3 concentration and wants to draw a 3-cost card. They're required to spend 1 concentration to focus draw the card, meaning they only have 2 concentration left. Now, if I allow cards to persist between turns, this might be okay, but I have another mechanic to actually help. This is tentatively called limit breaking. This allows a character to sacrifice a portion of their health to gain more actions. This allows a character to overexert themselves in order to accomplish what they want. In this instance, it's to use a 3-cost card that they wouldn't normally be able to use. This would allow a character to draw a 3-cost card with a focus draw and then still be able to use it. And lastly, are free actions and roleplay actions. Free actions are things characters can do that don't require concentration or a card. This would generally be something like talking to another character.
Oh god, we gotta
or
sneeze.
something potentially that doesn't warrant a full concentration. Turning on a light switch or picking something.
Sorry, came back to a sneeze. Hello. Oh gosh. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, Dub Pulled Hill. How are you doing? Welcome in. How you doing today? We are working on my cooperative trading card game. Working on getting the next update out. So we're talking about some card abilities, changing some stuff out. What brings you here? As you said, it could be equipped, but anti-synergy again, you could... Oh, I already read that one, didn't I? I was thinking we could potentially do something like, what's it called? Expedition Vessel, but for the old god, where it's drawing curses, right? If you have any questions, Dub, let us know. Or whatever you want me to call you. You tell me. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing here? What are you doing? What are you doing? To be honest, I do have an interest in similar card games since I named myself after a card in Incoherent. I actually don't know if I... Hold on, let me look this up. Coherent game. Kitten, can you start? Oh, okay. Where are you? Okay, bye. Sorry, the cat's scratching my carpet. Ah, I see. Okay. Very nice. Very cool. Yeah, we're yeah, it's like a trading card game. It's like a cooperative sort of trading card game where you plays a get in. Hey, please no. That's my carpet. Thank you. Sorry, she keeps distracting me. Yeah, it's a kind of plays maybe a smidge like Magic, but it's mostly you know, it's like cooperative. You play against the old gods. She's being feisty today. She's being a menace. Yeah, you play against the old gods, which are the bad guys of the game. We're currently doing most of the work on them, and then yeah, it's got like a resource management aspect as well and stuff like that. But if you have any questions about the game, feel free to ask. Yeah. Searched it up, surprised I'm hearing about this for the first time. Honestly, I feel like I should know more about card games, but I am, even though I make them, I don't know enough about other card games. I really need to learn more, play more. I think I like I kind of like the idea of I don't know if it would be a wasteland or what, but probably a wasteland card that is like expedition vessel, but with curses. That would be a good card to have as well. I kind of like this just doubling the fact of a curse is. When you play a curse, it does it twice, you know? It is pretty fun, though. Or it is pretty fun. Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would... Let me actually look at it one more time. What's it called again? Incoherent. I want to actually do a more, nonsensical word strings into real familiar phrases simply by reading them aloud. Interesting. Okay, I get it. Yeah, you try to figure out the pronunciation. I feel like it'd be either horribly bad at this game or very good at it. I don't think there's any in between. I'm dyslexic, so it's hard for me to read words, but at the same time, I feel like if I heard it, I would be decent at understanding it. Sounds fun though. I like it. It's a cool idea. Yeah, I think this one's just gonna double the curse's effect. We need to write that better. I don't know how exactly that would work, but when a curse is played, its effect triggers twice. It'd be sick if your dyslexia made you a god at a game about reading and pronunciation. I mean, the reading part is hard, but I do assume a lot. I'm good at assuming stuff from words, right? So it maybe would make it better. I don't know. Pronunciation is fine. Yeah, it's just like the I don't know, it'd be interesting. It certainly would be interesting. All right, so Chaos Gate is changing to this, which is kind of weird because its effect doesn't really do anything on its own. So I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. It could just be like a dud of a card, but I say we bump its health up to like 10. Sorry, I'm trying to look at where Chaos Keep is. We could just leave its death effect the same, potentially, although I would partly think it should have a negative death effect, because it's not nearly as good if it doesn't. Maybe, honestly, killing it draws an Old God Curse. Am I going crazy, or am I seeing the head of N for murder drones? You are seeing that exactly. So these are those are our little guys. It's a redeem you can get, and one of our viewers redeemed N. So yeah, those are all a lot of them are just, you know, fan creations, or like either, sorry, not fan creations, OCs basically, or something I drew based on their prompt. But I do have a redeem for little guys. Yeah. Exactly. You've been training your skill of pretending you know what you just read your whole life, so it sounds like what this game is. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That'd be kind of funny. You'll be a redeem where you can get and make one of those little guys. Indeed. We have a Murder Drones mega fan in the community. It's true. Grot loves Murder Drones. I've only seen like episode 1, but yeah. And we also got, I was gonna say, it's kind of interesting. We don't actually have as much fan art as I would expect. We do have Finn and Jake from Adventure Time, and then N, and I think the rest are either the person themselves or some sort of representation of them. Although I guess the crystal dragon is also fan art from Bean. It's a whatever. Sorry, just an observation. No, you're good. We yap a lot here. I think this is gonna be a negative death effect, and it's gonna be play a curse. How do I write that though? I think I have to write it exactly like I just mentioned the expedition vessel, right? Same wording. Draw until you draw a curse, then reshuffle. Yeah, we'll steal the wording from that. So it'd be this is the wrong effect. This is the wrong effect I copied. This one. I am partly against, like... I'm trying to think of my design philosophy of this again. I think one of the thoughts was, like, the negative death effect shouldn't necessarily be the same thing that... like, should be unrelated to what the card does in some ways, but Unleash the Bald, okay. Oh, I missed a lot. You made a fan art of mine, Smirk, true. All right, not Discord. What? What about Discord? Oh, you don't have your smirk face. Okay, yeah, sorry. I get it now. You just have to start streaming so you can put your own emotes. I'm a fan of my chicken. The Thunder Rooster. Me too. I'm a big fan of that one. Did we yap about most random stuff every time we need to get something done and then do nothing? It's true. Don't worry about derailing even for a second. Also, true. That be the true, as they say. Bean has joined the chat. Morning Runner. Yes. Good morning, Bean. Beanarino. How you doing, Bean? How's life? Not behold. Bold of you to say you don't have fan art. Like you aren't the biggest fan of every person you draw a little guy for. True. Can't argue with that. Anyway, gotta go. I'm only coming to say hi and all that good stuff. I'll join next time, though. Seems pretty chill here. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate you stopping by. See you around. Yes, there used to be thoughts on the negative defeated effect should not be related to what the card does itself. I believe that was one thought we had. I don't know if I've stayed true to that, especially with these ones doing all the disable stuff, but I can't remember if that even was exactly what it was about, though. That's not really true, because like Abyssal Horde, every minion attacks and it draws minions when you kill it, so that makes sense. Nah, we're just gonna have this draw curse. It's fine. Worst case, we can tweak stuff if it's too annoying. So it'll be reveal cards until I guess the OG reveals cards until it finds. Well, God reveals cards until it finds a purse. Play it. Reshuffle the rest. Well, hope to catch you next time. Welcome to the gang. Indeed, indeed. If you don't know the reason for it, it's probably not important. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the reason for it was like, it was like you're trying to combat a thing, so if you should still be punished for it, but you shouldn't be affected the way that the thing was affecting you, right? Is kind of the idea. For now, we'll have it this way. We'll see how it goes. I am interested to see how how difficult the game is with all these enemy improvements. Okay, what's next? Adjacent should probably say zone. Did we fix that with, like, I don't know, what was it? When attacking a monster, destroy. Oh, that was more player stuff? What stuff do we have that says adjacent, though? Am I spelling adjacent wrong? No. Is it just, Mad Scientist. When a minion is destroyed, disable one adjacent monster or minion of your choice. That seems fine. Is it whale? Yes, it was whale. That's fair, but we'll see whether this is worse for the game or not. And technically, Reaper disabling with a negative defeated effect doesn't help him. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of... Honestly, even... But, like, Abyssal Horde is, like, it draws minions every attack. And then when you kill it, it makes every minion attack immediately. So it's kind of like the negative death effect helps it. So it's kind of like... We've already, like, strayed away from that, I think, in the first place. So... Yeah, because he'd rather disable before he dies, true. I'm so freaking tired. Why are you tired, Bean? What's going on? And hungry. I feel the hungry part, for sure. And grumpy? Uh-oh. Why are you grumpy? Everyone hug Bean. Get him. Sick him. Let me read Dreadwater Leviathan for a second. When a card is placed in the Old God discard pile, has 10 or fewer cards, shuffle into the deck and draw 2 mana. Okay. When attacking, split damage between the target and adjacent cards. Bean.
Hey Shibo just cheered 1 bits. A cheer for Bean.
1 bit is 1 cheer for Bean. Everyone make Bean feel better by sharing thousands of bits. I'm sure it will help. Just kidding. I'm obviously obviously. Yeah, it's obviously for Bean. Definitely give him tons. Give me tons of bits to make Bean feel better. One engagement is equal to one like for Bean. I kid, obviously. Oh man. Anyway. Adjacent could be confusing for Dreadwater Leviathan. Maybe we wait till next patch to figure that out. I don't know. Although I think we considered just making it cards in the same row, cards in the same zone. Did we look at that? Ah!
Runnerbean36 just cheered 100 bits.
100 bits for me. That's funny. Thank you, Bean. Thank you for the biddies. You did not have to do that.
Hey Shibo just cheered 2 bits. I have 2 more.
Ugh, I have 2 more. Thank you for the 2 bits. You a 2-bit Tebow, they call him. Do you feel better now, Bean? Yeah, that's a good question. Do you feel well rested? Yes. Do the bits make you feel more awake? Do we change it so it doesn't say adjacent cards? Because I think adjacent cards could mean above and below, right? Split damage evenly between... It could say like 2 cards in the same zone. In some universe, yes. I'm grumpy eating an apple in the corner. That's fair. Same zone is better. It technically means you could choose between multiple cards, right? Like, it does mean if you have this and this guy gets attacked, you could choose here and here. But I think with how much damage it does, it's probably fine. Right? I think it's fine. I think it fits the spirit of the game. I agree. When attacking, split damage evenly between the target and... It might be too long, but split damage evenly between the target and 2 other cards in the zone. That makes sense? It could be all other cards, but you already chose what gets targeted when 2 cards have the same unit count, so this feels like that. Yeah. I mean, it could just say adjacent cards in the zone. I'm trying to think how to make that work, because the only problem is if you define the number, then it makes it feel like maybe you don't have to split the damage. You know what I mean? How are you, Mr. Baldman? I am bald. I'm doing okay, I would say. You know, it's always the good and the bad, you know? this whole endeavor is you know, not being fruitful enough, obviously, but and work is tiring, like extra work is tiring, but I don't know, still am I feeling better? I would say, like, it's weird because, like, I feel like I always have like a, you know, a base level of stress, but I think on a day-to-day basis, how much that stress affects me is different. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. I'm not like depressed or anything, but like there is like a base level of stress that's just like, if I'm tired, that mood could hurt, or that stress can hurt a lot more, or, you know, whatever. But the fruit of your labor was the friends you made along the way. I mean, honestly, more or less. And the skills I learned along the way. I don't know. I do have the feeling that something's gonna have to give soon, probably. I'll probably have to figure something else out financially, but I think I probably at least have the rest of the year to figure that out. Unless if something crazy happens between then and now, but you know, here we are. I'm hoping the goal is to get the games out. I don't think the games are gonna be like the way I make money necessarily, because like without a community like big enough to sell the games to, I think it's gonna be like, okay, we released it and here we are, you know. But do you have a roomie yet? No, I haven't since the last roomie. I was kind of like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. I really should. I should look. But honestly, like if I just got a job, I wouldn't need a roommate. And I think I'd prefer that. I mean, like, honestly, if I got a motion graphics job, like something that's consistent, like motion graphics jobs, like at the lowest level are like $25 an hour. At my skill level, it's like $50 to $100 an hour. What's stopping you from getting a roommate or a job? A roommate, PTSD, a job, not being able to do this anymore. Motion graphics, man. What's stopping me? I guess just like the time commitment to it. Because I could do like, I don't know, I'd rather be doing this, I guess, you know, obviously. But it's funny because I do keep getting asked like, oh, like, you know, I'm like, yeah, I need money, I need a good job. I'm like, oh, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to do this. You know, like this is what I want to do. Motion graphics is probably the most probable like option though, right? It makes the most money. I could do commission work, but like finding that enough commission work is difficult. Especially at like because I'm competing against people in other countries, right? Where they could just charge like $15 an hour versus my like 50 that I would supposed to be making in America, you know? There with you. I want my career in art, not BS science. There you go. Bean, I think you definitely have the skills to do it. Your art is crazy. Your art is crazy good. I think you, I mean, obviously it's a very competitive field depending on like where in art you want to, but so do you. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I think I agree. I agree I have the skills. It's just figuring out how that skills line up, you know, like where you, whatever, you know. I have a buddy who managed 6 roommates, so he could live in a house for free. He must have aged like 20 years, and the 2 he did it for. In the end, he said, beep it, and went back to work. Yeah, I think that's very fair. And lived alone because he was sick and tired of people. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, so it's, you know, it's weird. I'm sort of just trying to figure my life out, but ideally I'd keep doing this forever. Not necessarily forever, but like I would keep doing the streaming thing, and whether it's the game or not, or like I work on comics or stories or something, as long as I'm making something, like I'm pretty happy, you know? Ideally it's something I want to make. I think it'd be cool to get involved with like a cool project, you know, like ideally it's creative, right? Like it's not like I'm doing just like a bunch of like logo stuff for someone or something, you know? Like I like the logo stuff. If Toot's here, don't get mad at me. I've done some logo stuff for him. But like ideally I'm not doing like too much commercial stuff. I'd prefer to be doing like, you know, something more creative, but you know what I mean? I was gonna make a joke about Bean still being a beginner, but I don't think that statement belongs in reality, even as a joke. He's too good. So true. I know you well enough to know that you have the tendency to go wherever it is you want. Yeah, and succeed. The thing is, like, I don't know, man. It's like, there's like the whole, like, what's it called? Do what you love and success will follow, or whatever the statement is. And it's like, I think that's probably true, but man, they don't tell you how much time that will take. You know what I mean? I think if I was stayed at this forever, I'd probably eventually be successful enough to live, but I don't think the success follows just, you know, instantly. You know what I mean? I'm a beginner in many ways, trust me. We're all beginner. I mean, I think needing to learn is good, but, or knowing that you have space to grow is a very healthy thing. But yeah, you are definitely very, very talented. Talented isn't even the right word, because I feel like some people view talented as like, I feel like we've had this conversation before, but talented is like something that you don't work for, which it's not. Like, you have to train your talent, but skilled, I think, is probably the more right word. Gotta go dinner. All right, Tebow, thank you for hanging out. Maybe see you around if you come back. If not, thank you for being here. A lot of artists die before their art is recognized and sold for billions, right? Looks around where. If you're a beginner, then I must be the negatives of a beginner. Beats succeeds in being content and happy. And as long as any of us can find that, money will never be an obstacle. I love your enthusiasm, but I don't know if I am. I'm happy with my work. I don't know if I'm content per se. Like, if I had money to like not worry about like paying for my mortgage or paying for, you know, taxes at the end of the year or whatever, I would be much less stressed out and probably much happier. But still, here we are. Ed is negative 1000 beginner. Bye, Tebow. Come back. Tebow, come back. You can blame it all on me. Not in gardening. True. It's true. Look at all the prophets in history. They were broke bums. Exactly. Anyway. I need to look at whale for a second here. Yeah, it's like we have the exact number of words we can fit without it being too much. This year, everything is dying because we're getting -5s at night once or twice a week. That's crazy. I'm struggling this year. That sucks. Like, hard up struggling. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. That's crazy that it's still that cold. Freaking Canada, man, you know? Oh. Can I say when attacking, split damage evenly between 3 cards in the zone? I might just have to leave it as adjacent and then just describe what adjacent means. Because does adjacent mean con? Is there another word for like horizontally adjacent? Next to orthogonally adjacent. Side adjacent. Horizontally is just not going to fit here. That's the only problem. Flanked or linear. Those are like not shorter, much shorter than. It's also confusing, right? Weather is being beginner. The weather is being a beginner. Oh yeah. But finding the state of being content, happy, and at peace is infinitely harder than making enough money. That's why we have so many rich people, but almost no enlightened ones. Interesting. I don't know. It's hard to say. I've never been rich before, so. Let me know, so you damn Sky Mother, give us good stuff, indeed. I can tell you one thing though, you will either be one or the other. There's no doubt in my mind. What, rich or content? Collinear flanked. I like the words, but I feel like linearly. Speaking of gardens, I'll be lurking, go in some. I'm only rich in vitamin bean. Nice. I like that. That's fun. Vitamin bean. I wonder if this, I'm just trying to think of this whole, I might just leave it. It might just be more effort than it's worth to change the wording on this right now. But because if I add in zone, like in, because if I say, no matter what I do, I'm adding more words right now. Horizontally adjacent. No matter what, it's putting on another line, right? And meth. Uh-oh. Bean, are you doing meth? Yes. Everything I know about you leads me to be 100% confident in saying you will make it. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like one of my big problems is that I feel like I have to go against the grain. I'm too edgy. Not really, but like I feel like every game I play, I'm always like, I want to be off meta. I want to like do the thing that no one else is doing. And I think that's probably both to my detriment and not. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of both. I like trying new things, but I also, I don't know. It's interesting. Life's weird. There are ways I can see making this easier. That's me too. I can relate so hard, yeah. We could use the, literally the symbol equal or less than or equal to for fewer or like the number of cards. Because that is a real symbol. Whether people understand that, I don't know. Like if people are... I always have a hard time figuring out, understanding what it means sometimes. So, you know, the mouth points toward the one it eats, you know, the bigger one. It's hungry. We could use that. That'll save us a few words. Maybe we do that. Let's just see what it looks like. Let me go back. Let me copy this so we know what we're doing. Just trying to save some space here. Okay. When placed, if the Olga's discard pile I don't know if when placed is even necessary either. I remember wanting it for some reason. If the Olga discard pile has 10 or fewer cards, shuffle this back into the deck. Was there a reason we said when placed? Like, we could do this, right? Oh god, what? No! Ah! I think those signs are understood by most. I think so too, but... Oh, it does not let me copy the symbol. Okay, hold on, what is it? Windows key period? Or is this just emojis? Symbols. That's less than. Is there the less than or equal to sign? Is that not a symbol that is inherently on the computer? Did I miss it? Does this font just not have the less than or equal to? Math symbols. What the heck are these math symbols? Looks like frickin' arcane runes. There we go. I also want to state that you're on the right path to being content. You're following your dreams, passions, which will be the thing that will fuel your entire life. A man with the right motivation can overcome any obstacle. Yeah, I suppose it's true. I think honestly the biggest part is just hard doing it like more or less by myself. I think that's why I do like streaming a lot, is because I feel like I'm working on this stuff with you guys, but it's like, it's not quite the same, you know what I mean? As like having like a creative partner kind of deal. But like at the same time, it's like, okay, well, if you have a creative partner, then you need double the income and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's like, where do you find the balance there, you know? You have to do double as well. Get me on board as a collaborative volunteer. I mean, you basically are already, you know? Like, that's the whole stream. The stream is just outsourcing all my thinking to you guys. When placed, if the old god discard pile has less than or equal to, does that make sense? 10 cards? Shuffle the deck into... Shuffle this into the deck, then draw 2 minions. When attacking, split damage evenly between the target and adjacent cards and horizontally. Adjacent cards. I need the official title. I'm hungry for those. Yeah. I can't pay you anything, Tuna. Got nothing. Can't pay myself. I don't know. It would be cool to do something like... Let's see actually what this looks like. Beta cards, refresh CSV. Okay, the period's weird here, but other than that, it kind of does work. I need to figure out how to fix that, because punctuation gets weird with the symbols. I can just get rid of the period and call it good enough, I think. We'll just leave it for now. I just know I'll need it there. Volunteer is in the name. I don't think I can be paid. I don't even know what I'd like, how I would even have that work though, right? Like if I had volunteer employees, you know, like what would I, the problem is like, that's like, also an inconsistent thing, right? Like I think the biggest thing with a creative partner is consistency. Not that, I mean, you know, I think you've proved your consistency with 75 straight, you know, whatever, but, straight stream viewings. But it is interesting. I don't know. It is interesting to think about that kind of stuff. I'll partner with you. Everyone. Honestly, this is why I feel like it'd be fun to do the chat makes a game together. Like we can all work on a game. We all make something. Okay. Consistency in audience, not productivity. Yeah, there you go. I mean, you suggest a lot. You do a lot of suggestions and stuff. I'd be afraid hiring Tuna might mean every single card becomes a whale, but other than that, you know. Okay, I think we got all the fixes done. At least all the old god fixes done. We do need to do the player ones. We're probably not gonna like fully get this patch put out today. I kind of didn't think we would. It's like a little bit of work, but it's a lot of work, you know what I mean? It's like a bunch of little things that needed to be done. Anyway, we have used math symbols for our own whatever. For sure, the game would be renamed Whales Against Whales. Or Whale Hunters Against Whales, probably. Generally need to break into industry, so I join forces. There you go. Yeah, I also need to break into the industry. No, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I think that's like one of my big problems is like, sometimes I feel like I probably am not focusing on the right stuff. Like, I probably really should just like focus on printing my game and then going to board game stores and like just playing the game with my local like local board game stores, or going on one of the like 7 Discord servers I'm part of that do people who do play testing and play with those guys and that kind of stuff, you know. Like that's something I should really be doing. Honestly, I think part of it is like a fear of just being like getting critiques that are unhelpful at this stage of the game, you know, just being like, right now for me it mostly feels like wording and like balance to the game. But I feel like I probably get lots of criticism on like rule altering stuff, and it's like it's we're far past that. We can't alter the rules anymore. We can add like some little things, but man, like the base game is what it is. Which is probably means we should have done more playtesting sooner. By we, I mean me. But I also don't really regret anything per se either. So I don't know. It's all interesting. I don't know. I'm just saying things at this point. But yes. What was I even saying? Join forces. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I also need to break into the industry. I'm very indie, and I feel like, who knows? Who knows who actually knows me, you know? What else we doing? Yeah, Bean, it'd be cool to work on something together. I think that's like part of the problem, honestly, with like a lot of creators, is they kind of get stuck in their own thing. Like right now I'm kind of stuck in this project. Like I feel like I have to finish it, but I don't think I really could take much more on, as far as like I can't start, like starting another project would just be the death of this project, you know. I think a lot of creators fall into that. They're like, oh yeah, I want to be like my own indie dev, blah blah blah, do this thing, and then they don't partner up with people, which the synergy of working with someone is like, as long as you can work with someone, is you get more than 2 times the work done, right? Like just working together with someone. The power of synergy is crazy. But I don't know. But you gotta find people who are like dedicated enough to that. It's really hard to find the right people. That's the biggest issue. Anyway, I'm just yapping. Let's I'm gonna do an ad. We'll come back, probably finish these few things that I have in my to-dos, and then I probably won't get the full patch out today. I'll probably do it whatever, and we'll also have to discuss the schedule. So anyway, I'll be back. See you in a few minutes.
I'm turning my card-based tabletop role-playing game into a full... Yeah, that's also true. Players to infinitely draw cards, like a Shiv build and Slay the Spire, might end up being a little bit much. And as for a player not being allowed to do what they want, yeah, that's also true. However, I like to think of this system like the options your character can come up with in any given moment. That being said, I do have some mechanics planned that circumvent this issue rather than me just using a narrative explanation. For one, if a player's not in combat, they can use an ability at any time, allowing diversity in roleplay without any consequences. As for in combat, a player can do what I'm calling a focused draw. This spends a concentration to allow a player to dig through their deck and pick out a specific card. This will allow players the freedom to do what they want, coming at a bit of a cost. However, this unfortunately isn't enough on its own, as suppose a player has 3 concentration and wants to draw a 3-cost card. They're required to spend 1 concentration to focus draw the card, meaning they only have 2 concentration left. Now, if I allow cards to persist between turns, this might be okay, but I have another mechanic to actually help. This is tentatively called limit breaking. This allows a character to sacrifice a portion of their health to gain more actions. This allows a character to overexert themselves in order to accomplish what they want. In this instance, it's to use a 3-cost card that they wouldn't normally be able to use. This would allow a character to draw a 3-cost card with a focus draw and then still be able to use it. And lastly, are free actions and roleplay actions. Free actions are things characters can do that don't require concentration or a card. This would generally be something like talking to another character, or something potentially that doesn't warrant a full concentration to perform, like turning on a light switch or picking something up. This would generally be based on the GM's discretion though, as is very situation based. And roleplay actions would be actions that do not require a card to perform, but still require concentration. Roleplay actions are exclusive to actions that do not cause any other character direct or even indirect harm. This allows a player to still do cool narrative things, even if they don't have the cards in their hand to do it. These are also sort of necessary, as if you have a party member who's dangling off an edge and you're trying to save them, but don't actually have a basic action in your hand, you can still actually do that. So I think that's everything for real this time. I have plenty of other cool ideas I want to show off to you guys, but it's probably better for another video. Let me know what you think about turning a tabletop RPG into a deck builder. I'd be really curious to hear your opinions and if you have any cool ideas. And on that note, if you want to get involved with the creation of this game, feel free to check out my Discord channel. I'll be sharing stuff like new card designs, and along with having discussions and asking for your input on the game. You can also check out our website, soulrpg.com, if you're looking to play the old version of the game. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Recently, I was challenged by Blackthorn Prod to make a board game in just 24 hours. If you've already seen that video, consider this the extended cut of my section. If you haven't, and you're unfamiliar with them, Blackthorn Prod is a YouTube channel known for challenging developers to make games. This video was part of their Engine Battle series, where each dev used their preferred game engine to build a game. Of course, I'm a board game developer, so I don't really have an engine, but they wanted to mix things up and invited me to join in. This was extra exciting for me because it was the first time they actually invited someone to do a board game for one of their videos. For this challenge, me and the other devs had to make a survival horror game in an hour and a totally separate game in 24 hours. In this video, I'm going to focus on the 24-hour game because there's a lot more to talk about. If you're curious about the whole story though, I'd recommend you check out the full BTP video. But here's the quick version. For the 1-hour game, I made a battleship-inspired board game where one player, as a monster, constantly chased and hunted the other player. I leaned more into the horror aspect, emphasizing the tension of escaping the monster and the uncertainty of not knowing where the other player was. For the 24-hour game though, I wanted to hone in on the survival aspect instead. because trying to survive a monster attack is all well and good, but a true survival game, everything is trying to kill you. Not having played a whole lot of horror games, I was limited from what I could pull from for inspiration, so when trying to decide on a vibe, Hunt Showdown kept coming to mind. It had two key aspects I like, the PvPvE aspect and its aesthetic. I wanted to make a card game this time around, and the cowboy horror theme lent itself to a few mechanics I wanted to use.
I love this video.
So to start, I compiled all my ideas into a spreadsheet with each card element organized into its own column. From there, I populated these fields. I added weapons like the coach gun, 6-shooter.
Let's see. Serious for a sec. What could I do in that role? Write patch notes, announcements, general community stuff, compile card ideas. Also had a call, so I need a slight recap. It's kind of rambling, to be honest. Serious about wanting to help in a higher capacity, because if you couldn't tell, I care about this game, but the horrible thing is, how could you trust someone else to do all these things? That's a scary thing to do with cooperation in general. I mean, it's a good question. Honestly, I think part of it, like, is it's kind of hard to say, like, because, like, yeah, I both very much desire having like doing more collaborative stuff, like very like hands-on collaborative kind of things, but I also have some trepidation, because I feel like I gain like almost infinite energy when I'm doing like a project like this, or like if I'm like literally directly collaborating. I feel like I gain a lot more energy to do it, but at the same time, I feel like it's hard to get someone who also has that kind of commitment, which I'm not saying you wouldn't. I'm just kind of saying I've sort of had stuff where it felt like I've been not necessarily burned, but like I feel like it's not necessarily reciprocated, which is interesting. Sorry, I'm just getting a bunch of messages. I don't think it's necessarily a, I mean, there is some trust factor. I'm thinking this over. I'm kind of thinking as I speak. So, take anything I'm saying here with a grain of salt. It's kind of I'm thinking out loud, you know. I mean, yeah, I guess any sort of like writing thing could be helpful. Like that is where I probably struggle the most, but there is like maybe one, not even I can tell you, because I've always been unpredictable even to myself, but I wanted to help in any way. I mean, yeah, man, it's kind of hard to say, you know. I feel like I'd have to like figure that out. Patch notes, like I feel like let's read what you said for a second here and go through each one, just because it's a good curiosity, whether either like that's something that we could even really be like truthfully thinking about, or whether it's like, you know, whatever, right? Patch notes, like I feel like you'd have to know the rationale between each of them. Like obviously, I'm like writing, like most of the stuff I do on stream, I could do it off of stream. I mean, anything that like anyone else would do, I'd probably check. But like usually I'm trying to write them as I go now, rather than like having to rewrite them. And most of the notes I'm adding are my thoughts, right? So that's kind of hard to like parse out. Announcements and community stuff in general, that could be interesting. Especially because like I was talking about doing what's it called? Doing playtests, like setting up playtests and stuff like that could be interesting, could be helpful. Because I don't always have time for that, right? Like it's hard for me to like prioritize everything. I'm like, because I look at my schedule and I'm like, Monday and Wednesday are basically me doing my concrete job. Tuesday is stream, and then usually when I get off of stream, I'm doing editing. Thursday, I work on editing, then stream. Then by the time stream's over, it's basically like time to be done, right? Friday is like my only free day. Usually I go to a coffee shop and work because it's kind of a treat to myself and I can kind of get stuff done. Like it's a writing day basically, so I'll write scripts and stuff like that. And then I'll come home and then work on probably more editing. Saturday's like my only day off. Sunday I do stream, and then either like when stream, depending on how long stream goes, I'll either just like take the rest of the day or I will work on more editing. Usually I allow myself on Sunday to do kind of a free day. Doing playtests would be cool, but most of our community is in Europe, which means I have to do it at the beginning of the day rather than, you know, at the end of my day, which is probably when I would be able to do playtests the most, right? I've had so much experience in those types of community management settings, story for another time probably. But curious thing is I still have zero idea of what I'm doing. Okay, yeah. You're a professional Discord mod. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to say Discord mod. So community stuff I think could be big. Compile card ideas. I mean, we have most of the ideas. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna get too many card ideas, and we talk about most of them on stream. Sure, you could probably write them down as I'm talking, and then I don't have to like talk. Like you could literally be part of like a Google Doc that we share, and then you could write stuff as I'm talking. What's the word? Someone who transcribes stuff. You know, I could, but I also could just like. There's a thing my brother was talking about where it like it's an AI that transcribes what you're talking. It would be interesting to have an AI that transcribes what you're talking and then distills what you said into a more correct ideas. Basically, yeah. I need honestly, that would probably like one of the biggest things to be helpful for me is someone who just transcribes stuff. But what's that? There's a title for that. Like someone who like writes a book for you while you talk to them, you know what I mean? Like a transcriptionist or something. I don't know. I can't think of the name, but either way, yeah, it's an interesting thought though, you know, allowing, because I mean, yeah, there are people who have mods, right? Like people who have more like we have two, right? And Bradley, but they don't have like a huge role in the Discord or here necessarily. Like they'll do like polls for me is basically like the main thing, right? But having someone who takes on that kind of role more could be interesting. And it's definitely something to consider. Like, but the problem is like, I don't know. Yeah, that's also a little bit more different than just like being a mod, right? It's like actually organizing stuff and putting it together, right? Toot does polls for you. Interesting. God damn it, Bean. There's a war game where I was high rank for a community about 200, but the fact that I'm still not tells you enough. The fact that I'm not still tells you enough about my consistency. Sorry, still not about what your consistency is. Sorry, I'm lost. There's a war game where I'm high rank for a community of 200. The fact that I'm still not what? Sorry, that's where my brain's breaking. Tells you enough about my consistency. Dang it, Bane. Yeah, I think honestly, currently the thing that would be most useful for me from a community thing is like playtest right now, because it feels like the one thing I can't really get to, you know. Still not a high rank member. Sorry. There's a war game where I was a high rank for a community, but you're still not a high rank? See, that's why I'm confused. Never mind. Anyway, whatever. I did everything regarding events and announcements and still not high rank. Ah, I left because I lost interest in the game. I see. I understand. High rank member, not high rank in the game. Understood. I think that's what you mean. Anyway, okay, we have a few extra little tidbits to work on here. Which war game? Yeah, good question. World of Tanks. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Let's see. I don't think World of Tanks is a small community. Okay, we need to do... What is it? Rather not answer that, because my biggest shame and sin, but Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons. Don't recommend them at all. I honestly never heard of either of them. Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons. What's wrong with enjoying stuff? Don't be ashamed, indeed. Isn't Rise of Kingdoms... I don't know. Okay, yeah, I've seen this. All... Oh, just like phone games, basically, is why you're ashamed. I don't think that's... Yeah, I think you're fine. They are designed to be that way. I fell for both. That's fair. Yeah. That is fair. Yeah. Basically rely on people spending a fortune on the game for your clan to succeed. Ah, yeah, I guess that's fair. Which is disgusting when you think about it. Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about that about something the other day. I'm like, this is like disgusting practice for a game. Was it a game? I don't even know if it was a game, but it was something along those lines. I literally can't even remember what it was. This is not a great story, but... Okay, we need to add... Alright. Visions of Death. can't type. Nope. I don't know why I did that, but here we are. Of Doth. Spent a disgusting amount of money on gardenscapes. Total waste. Gardenscapes. Oh, yeah, this one. Me on Brawl Stars. Any game that has good cosmetic feeds my wallet. I can happily say I've never fallen into it, but I also don't have money. So I've never had money, so summarize this data. I'm pretty good with money, though, to be fair. I think that is one of my strengths. Okay, Mr. Braggington. Yeah, I'm sorry. Have I ever spent a ton of money on a game? I mean, I did buy League of Legends skins back in the day, but I wouldn't say I bought a lot of them. I bought them, like, maybe once a year. Maybe a few times if I was giving them to a friend, but it wasn't really whatever. We're over here reliving our trauma, and you're like... and you do us like that. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Literally don't fall for scams. Triggering positive death effects instantly without destroying that card. Does this effect does not work on the orb. Do I even, do I use the symbol here? I guess so. I've been playing Brawl Stars for 7 or 8 years now. I think I've spent a couple $1,000s on it. Honestly, I have friends that have done similar with other games. Brawl Stars is the... Oh, never mind. Sorry, I was thinking that was the, It's not the one that's like Super Smash, is it? What am I thinking? I'm thinking Brawlhalla. Sorry, never mind. Okay, that's fixed Visions of Death, and we also need to fix... Beach. Yet again. Brawlhalla is so confusing to me. I can't keep up with everything that's happening on screen. You sound like my mom. Whenever we played whenever we played what's it called, Super Smash, my mom was like, how do you even understand what's happening? It was just classic. I wish I could, but Hero Slop is my favorite genre of gaming. Is that what that's called now? By the way, what the beep is happening on Super Smash Bros? What does that mean? Wait, in what way? Is there something going on with it? Games that give you the choice between a wide variety of characters. Ah, I see, okay. So League. Big League of Legends fan. I don't know if that's what it's called, but I like calling it that. It's fair. Oh, I'm agreeing with your mother. Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Oh, to be honest, not by the way. I think I read that as by the way and not to be honest. Yeah, I agree with her too. Yeah. She's a smart lady. What am I doing with my life? Right. How do you focus on the character? By focusing on the character. Is that like is it hard? I guess is that like a ADHD thing? Like it's hard to focus on the individual character? Like are people with ADHD have a harder time playing fighting games like that? Platform fighting games, what do you want to call it? Yeah, I always lose my guy in the crowd. Yeah, there's certain games that are like that for me, but I think it never stops me IRL. Yeah. There's way too many cards. What am I even thinking anymore? Beach. Okay, sorry. I had a mental breakdown. Don't mind me. Beach needs to be fixed. There are games that have had that, but Super Smash has never really been one of them. Disable this card. So the effect should be, so here's the problem right now. There are certain cards that let you play an ability for free. There's one, a death effect from the old god, and there's Frozen Woodland. The problem is that it means you could trigger this effect infinitely, I believe. Or not infinitely, but you could trigger it way more times than you're supposed to. Actually, no, it was infinitely. There was ways to do it. I don't remember how, but draw this card from the top of your deck and play it, and then disable this card. So now the disable is part of the effect rather than the cost. I don't know about being ADHD, but I'm chronically stupid and I'm proud of it. I thought you said you were, so maybe I thought both you and Bean were. So maybe my memory's working, I don't know. Okay, those are all the fixes for that. We do have to name every deck and whatever. It'll be a useful thing to do if we go in here and basically rename these to be what they are. And then all these. ADHD, but I'm a lot more stupid than people with ADHD. I don't agree, but here we are. Okay, so we have to compile the deck, which means I gotta redo this, basically. It's fine. I feel like you right now. What did it flag? I think you said like you saying stupid. It thought you were calling ADHD people stupid, I think. Yeah. Reason held. Disability. Allow for post in chat. This is stupid. What is stupid? I think I'm starting to lose energy on this front. Stupid. It wasn't that you just said stupid. It's that you said stupid and ADHD in the same sentence. But now that I've approved it, it probably won't flag it again. stupid people. Tuna, what are you doing? Oh, so I have a pass now? No, you don't. You do not. He's bald. See, Bradley's here. He'll time you out again. That's what you're saying. I'm saying Bradley will enforce the law if you're not careful. Tuna. If that's even your real name. He's timed you out before. He'll do it again. Fine, you can time me out, but just for a second. I do have cop energy. Time out Tuna. Oh god, I accidentally just timed him out. I timed him out for 6 minutes. Oh, wait. No, I didn't. Wait. Did Bradley's overrule me? No, I think I may have accidentally. Tuna, say something if you can say something. I may have also timed him out by accident. I accidentally clicked something. Tuna, can you hear me? I am Tuna. How do you actually look at that? I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I timed him out for longer. Just give me a second here. This is something I do need to figure out. Mod logs. You broke my Twitch. I'm pretty sure I actually timed you out for 600 seconds. Also, ban this guy for ban evading. True. Is there a untime out? Untime out, yeah. The fact that it doesn't autofill with usernames. I wonder if there's a way to actually, Tuna Piano is not currently timed out for this channel. Oh, so we did just break it. Did I spell his name right? I don't know. Tuna. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know. Because they have the catchiest username. It's true. Let's just try it again to make sure. But we may have just broken it because we double timed you out. Okay, you're alive. Okay, never mind. We're good. I think Bradley did it first and then I did it again, and so it didn't actually time you out for the full time. Anyway, there's like a extension I thought that I had. Ah, there it is. Never mind. If I click on your name, I can see it longer. You can time you out for 14 days. Wait, what's a warning? You can have a warn button. I don't know what that does. Anyway. What happened was I pressed chat and the pop-out at the same time immediately went out. Interesting. Okay, I don't think I have energy to compile all this together. I think I'm done with this. Let's I think let's talk the schedule for the next few days, and we overload the API. Yeah, pretty much. Imagine if timeouts broke my streak. Yeah, that would be crazy. They don't, but okay. Let's talk schedule real quick, and then I'm probably gonna call it a day because I'm tired and I've got other spook to do. You know what I mean? Okay. Let me just open my schedule app. My brain API is overloaded, you know? Wait, I have this in streaming. Where's my schedule builder? Why can I never find anything? Schedule builder. Oh wait, that's not gonna work. Hold on. There it is. Need to run. Good luck. All right, dude. Appreciate it. We'll see you around, I'm sure. Have a great rest of your day. What card did we just make? The wasp one, or we could do. You want to do the wasp one? We'll do the wasp one. Open. Okay. Back when Match Me, I had a lot of fun learning to create formats. See a strongest moderator. We'll do this. It's a little bit better. All right, we are not having Wednesday on. Wednesday will be, or Thursday will be on Thursday instead of on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Probably from Wednesday. We'll turn off Wednesday. I think AAE dev, and then we can probably say stream improvements if we have time. Did I spell improvements right? Seems right. I'll double check. Yeah. And then I think on Sunday, I think we do some Inscription. What do you guys think? Some games? We haven't done games in a while. Do it, I dare you. Okay. You can. I mean, this will be like a reoccurring thing if we start it. Probably. We probably try to play it and beat it, which is definitely going to take more than one session. But it might be like an every other week thing, like we did when we did, what's it called? Dispatch. Just my first step in my master plan of what? Ooh. The script for Inscription. Script of the Iption. Yes. Sorry. That broke my brain. To turn you into a toy review channel. That's wild and crazy. I think that's gonna be the schedule. You'll see. I'm good. You know, I'm good on that. You'll see the new Ryan. I don't even know who Ryan is. Stream schedule. Delete the old one. I always feel bad deleting the old one because then your reactions disappear. That makes me feel bad. You know what I mean? But it makes more sense because then you can see this and it's not buried under like whatever. I know you can pin it, but it's like still annoying. Yeah, but then this is more fun. You can all react to this one, or react to both of them. It's fine. It's not really a real problem. You know what I mean? I don't need to say anything of this. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Gosh dang it. No one was gonna tell me, huh? That I said paying Inscription and not playing Inscription. So, you know, I blame you. You're fouling as my receptionist. You gotta pay them to use their font. It's true. The agreement process was short, but I appreciate it existing, indeed. That's not even the right... How did that not fix it? Hold on. X. Control V. Hello. What is happening? Delete message. Delete. Toot would have made fun of me, and I can't have that happening, you know? Also, don't read when I know what's supposed to be written. No, for sure. I mean, that's our entire, the entire card game, which is a problem. That's why other people need to play it. Anyway, that's that. Three pings, gotta leave the server. I didn't ping, there was only one ping. I mean, you may have gotten pings for me reposting it, but it was only at stream pinged once. Time Tebow. So true. I posted 3 things, but unless if you made an announcement to yourself, but I only pinged stream notifications once, so. So there, Tebow. That's even your real name. All right, I think we're done here. I think it's probably time to skedaddle. I'm gonna find someone new today. Probably, unless there's someone streaming that I've never rated before. Gotta mow the lawn, yeah, dude. I gotta do that too. Maybe I should. I don't know. If Beats is even your real name. It is, I swear. Beats, yeah. I don't know. Robbie Landis is streaming. Other people playing board games. I mean, we could. There's this dude. I never. Hold on. Someone talking about Arkham Horror. Oh, Pam's live. Well, she's not. It's like a co-working stream, so it's not really like something you interact with too much, you know. Kind of just whatever. Wait, same category is what I want to look at. Crazy weather, eh? You don't do it till the evening, you'll die from the heat. Yeah, I'd probably wait till the evening for sure. Did I say that? Or did you... Oh, no, you said that. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I got confused there. There's a guy who's yapping about Arkham Horror. That could be an interesting thing to raid, but I don't know if he's playing. I think he's just yapping. That could be interesting. I think we raid that. I'm just worried like a mom. Yeah, honestly, it's not even the heat I really worry about. It's the UV index. Like, if it's too freaking sunny, I just don't want to get skin cancer. You know what I mean? That's my biggest goal. The UV index is 4 right now, so I'd wait till like 5 or 6 to do it. Like an end mom. True. All right, we're gonna rate another board game person. They're looking at Arkham Horror cards, from what I understand. Which I didn't know there was like a app that showed all the different Arkham Horror cards to look at, and like deck building it looks like, which is interesting. So, man, this better not be good. Yeah, you gotta mow your lawn. So I don't feel, honestly, just do the raid message and leave. It's fine. You don't need to. Anyway, let's go. Let's get out of here. We're gonna raid this guy. You're unable to raid at this time. Let's try one more time and see if it's broken or if it's... Is this guy just not raidable? Or did he leave? He's gone, isn't he? No, he's still here. Hold on. Let's try one more time. Nope, can't raid him. Well, never mind. I hate that, dude. I'm like, okay, yeah, I finally found someone to raid, and then just you can't for some reason. All right, we're just gonna raid an artist then, because there's no other board game things that seem interesting. Oh, that was that lady. Okay, I was like, who is that person? Wait, no. What were we talking about? I can't remember what we were talking about. Oh, heat. Yeah, definitely waiting until later is definitely smart. Just so you don't die of heat exhaustion or whatever. Or, whatever. Heat exhaustion, it's fine. That's not in English. I hate it. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and it's just not an English thing at all. And it's like, oh, okay, I don't speak French. You got cool art, but it's 7 for me. It should be chill. Ah, nice. Sorry, I'm taking forever to find someone. Oh, two would be jealous if I rated this person because they're doing motion, or not motion grab. They're doing like logo design and stuff. That's what Toot's all about. Graphic design is the word? Yeah, that's it. You know what? We rated this lady once before, and she seemed cool, so we're gonna rate her again. I don't know what she's doing. I think she's just yapping, but we're just gonna go for it anyway. Anyway, let's do it. You gotta mow your lawn. Let's raid. Anyway, y'all, it's good hanging out with you. I will see you all later, and have a great rest of your day. I will see you on Thursday. We'll do more of this kind of stuff, along with maybe some stream improvements we finish in time, and then we're gonna play some Inscription on Sunday. So anyway, away we go. Toodaloo. Goodbye. Farewell. Right now.
I can't remember the names. It's been too long, but